Good afternoon. Welcome to today's class. We are in our second topic, which is creativity and innovation. This is an area which never misses in an exam setup. And this is what we'll cover today, the definition of terms. We are going to define the term creativity and also innovation. We will look at the types of creativity and the techniques of improving creativity. We'll also look at the creativity and climate and the qualities of a creative or an innovative person. We'll look at the principles of innovation or ways of enhancing enterprise creativity. We'll also look at the hindrances to creativity or the barriers to creativity. We'll also look at the goals of innovation, the types of innovation, requirements for successful innovation, and finally, we'll look at the differences between innovation and creativity. We'll start with our first subtopic, which will be defining the terms, and we'll start by definition of the term creativity and innovation. And creativity implies conceptualizing, visualizing, or bringing into being something which doesn't exist. Conceptualizing, visualizing, or bringing something into being which doesn't exist. But when it comes to innovation, this is an idea that has been transformed into a practical reality. An idea which has been transformed into a practical reality. Once we've seen the definition of the terms, we'll now proceed to the types of creativity. Types of creativity, and this is a question which has been tested before. Types of creativity. The first type of creativity is discovery, and it means finding something that already exists. Finding something that already exists, but not yet known. The second type of creativity is about the invention. An invention means creation or designing of something which did not exist before. And the third type of creativity is now the innovation, which means to improve something that is already there. Yes. There's a question which was asking to state the types of creativity, and you're supposed to talk about the discovery, the invention, and the innovation. I will now look at the techniques for improving creativity. There are various techniques in which you can use to improve creativity, and one of the techniques is about brainstorming. And simply brainstorming means this is a method of generating ideas in a group, and it usually requires several people to work together to generate ideas and solve the problems. Another second technique is about the reverse brainstorming. And this is the process that involves identification of everything wrong with an idea by asking the question in many ways. Remember, with brainstorming, this is whereby you generate as many ideas as you can without criticizing. But with the reverse brainstorming, we are now criticizing, or we are questioning all the ideas which were generated during the brainstorming. Another one is about free association. With the free association, this is a method of developing new idea through a chain of a circle of words. The process involves a word relating to the problem being written down, then another and another one. Another way of generating or improving creativity is attributes listing. Attributes listing. And it requires, this is whereby the entrepreneur lists the attributes of an item or problem, and then look at it from a variety of point of view. Through this process, originally unrelated objects can be brought together to form a new combination. Another way of improving creativity is through checklist method. Checklist method. A new idea is developed through a list of related issues or suggestions or statements to guide the direction of developing entirely new idea. Another method is about big dream approach. It requires that an entrepreneur dream about the problem and its solution, and also come up with every possibility. Every possibility should be recorded and investigated without regard to all negatives involved or resources which are required. I've said there's a question which was asking, you state, was it 5 types of techniques for improving creativity? You're supposed to talk about the brainstorming, the reverse brainstorming, free association, attributes listing, checklist method, and big dream approach. We have a number of ways in which you can improve creativity. Now let us look at the creativity climate. Creativity climate. And when we talk about in any organization, providing a conducive environment or a right environment will always trigger to creativity. Then we'll now have to look at the characteristics of the creative environment. Characteristics of a creative environment. The first characteristic is having a trustful management. Having a trustful management. The second one is having open channels of communication. This is in both when I talk about open channels of communication. This one is both in terms of both internal and external communication. Another one is having large variety of personal types. Another characteristics is whereby there is willingness to accept change. Willingness to accept change. Also where there is little fear, little or no fear in regards to in case you make any mistake, you don't face a fear consequences. That one will make people to even try new ideas and come up with new ideas. Another one is when there is in regards to selection and promotion of employees on the basis of merit. When we talk about selection and promotion, if you do fair selection and promoting, people will even be will be motivated to even go an extra mile and come up with new ideas, knowing that they will be rewarded. Now let us look at the qualities. Qualities of a creative. stroke innovative person. There was a question which was asking to list the qualities of an innovative person, and the qualities are the same for a creative and innovative person. The first one is that they should be open-minded. First quality is having that open-minded, in that they are always willing to take up any idea. Another one is that they are adventurous. They are adventurous and they want to discover. They are adventurous and they want to discover. Another quality is that they are analytical. Curious and are not contented. These are the kind of people who never get satisfied with the current situation. Another one is that they are purposeful. This is they have a target, they know what they want to achieve. Another one is decisive, in that when it comes to making decisions, they are precise. Another one is they are courageous, in that they are never scared to take any step. And finally, they are self-motivated and persistent. They never easily give up on any situation. Those are some of the qualities of a creative person. We now look at the principles of innovation or ways of enhancing creativity in an enterprise. There was a question which was asking you, state, was it 5 ways of enhancing creativity in an organization? It's the same as the principle. The first principle is that you be action-oriented, in that innovators must always be active and searching for new ideas, opportunities, or sources of innovation. The second principle is that they make the product, process, or service simple and understandable. Another principle is that you start small. When you talk of start small, this will always ensure that in the process you will be expanding, and also it will be easier to make any changes and also to introduce any changes, rather than when you start large, in case it fails, it means that the entire process has failed. Another principle is always aim higher. Innovators should always aim high for success by seeking segment in the marketplace. Also learn from failures. When you say you learn from the failures, you find that failures usually give rise to innovation. Another principle is follow a planned schedule. Follow a planned schedule. This following a planned schedule will always indicate what has been accomplished. And finally, try, test, and revise. This will always help work out any flaws in the product, process, or service. Those are the principles of innovation. Now let us look at the hindrances or barriers of creativity. stroke innovation. The first barrier is having unclear direction. When you talk of having a clear direction, this is whereby you don't have the clear goals or clear objectives or clear plans. The second one is about fear of failure. This is whereby the innovators or the people in the organization are always scared to make a mistake, or they fear to do anything which might lead to negative consequences. Another one is lack of inadequate resources. Inadequate resources. This is in terms of both the human power and the finances. If you don't have enough resources, it means that you will not have the enough resources to accomplish the given task. Also, another barrier is about the regulations for businesses. We find that there are some regulations which might hinder a business from, which might be restricted on the business, and this one will hinder creativity or innovation. Also, another one is being afraid of rejection. This is whereby you are scared as an employee to be criticized or to be ridiculed, or whereby you fear to look or to sound foolish. Yes, those are some of the hindrances or the barriers of creativity. Now look at the goals of innovation, or the reasons why companies or organizations need to be innovative, or the reason why goals of innovation. The first, I've said that companies, you find that the organizations need to be innovative, and the reason why they need to be innovative is to improve on productivity. Second one is creation of new markets. One is extension of product range. Also, when you want to reduce labor force, this is maybe you come up with better ways of doing a task, or coming up with a better technology which can replace the human labor. Another one is improved production processes. And finally, when you want to conform with the regulations. Yes, this is some of the goals or the reason why the enterprises try to be innovative. Let us look at the types of innovation. Types of innovation. The first one is invention. The second one is extension. And the third one is duplication. And finally, the synthesis. Yes, I'll explain. When we talk about the when you talk about the invention, this is whereby you are creating a new product, creation of a new product, service, or a process. Or a process which has not been tried before. as creation of a new product, a service, or a process which has not been tried before. When we talk about the extension, this is expansion of a product or service. That is already there. Yes, but when we talk about the duplication, this is the replication of the existing product. Or service. It necessarily doesn't mean that you are duplicating, but you can, this is whereby the entrepreneur can touch on enhancing or improving the concept to beat the competition. And when we talk about the synthesization, is this combination of existing concept and factors of new formation. Yeah, those are the types of innovation. And it has requirements for successful innovation. The first requirement is always appointing skilled personnel. When we talk about the skilled personnel, you appoint the skilled personnel in the executive capacity because they are the ones who will ensure that they support the strategic process or the strategic decisions of the organization. Another one is you select the leaders. Select the leaders to deal with essential tasks. Another one is that you identify a clear need. This is what you want to achieve at the end of the day. It needs to be very clear. Another one is that ensure that there is a sound cooperation. Sound cooperation from all the team players or the people who will be involved in the innovation. And finally, that ensure that there is availability of the necessary resources. This is in terms of both human capital and the finances. So some of the things which you need to have for you to ensure that there is a successful innovation. Now let us look at the differences between innovation and creativity. There was a question which was asking the same. Yeah. And the innovation can say that this is transformation of an idea or invention into something usable. This is in terms of definition. In terms of creativity, it is creation of something new. Another difference of innovation is that it results in new product, services, or processes. This other one usually results of new knowledge and ideas. Yes, there's a question which was asking you give two differences between innovation and creativity, and I think I've covered. We've come to the end of our today's topic. In the next class, we'll proceed.